I did want to say a few quick words before we get into the event, and Katie will be introducing Ronald De Souza, our speaker for tonight. This is a Center for Inquiry. We exist to promote science, reason, freedom of inquiry, skeptical inquiry, secular humanism, very broad mandate. Part of our ability to continue providing these great events to you and to do other big outreach campus campaigns and that sort of thing is membership. So we are, as always, asking you to please become what we call a friend of the center. It's more or less a membership program. If you do join, then we waive your event admission for just about everything that we do, including tonight's event. We also have lots of incentives like free magazines and merchandise, but the real reason we want you to join is to support our values, which we hope are your values: science, secularism, freedom of thought, which are important that we all sort of come together to support. So we have inaugurated our Forging Our Future campaign. I need a drum, but I don't have one. But ta-da, there it is. So starting now, basically, at the beginning of the year, we are going to be engaged in Forging Our Future campaign. This is a big campaign to get 1,000 members, 1,000 friends of the center, by the end of '09. So if you aren't a member yet, please continue, consider joining tonight. To avoid getting a phone call from me begging you to join tomorrow, probably. So I will just mention that at this point in time, and if you would like to put today's membership, today's admission towards your membership, Katie or Jody or myself can process that later. We're at 300 members, as you can see on our Rapture wheel. Get it? And so we want to get up to 1,000 by the end of the year. So if you want to see a prettier graphic next year, help us get the funds to fund it, we understand. So I'm not going to go into that in any more depth. I did want to mention quickly our upcoming event. 2 weeks from now, we do these big events every other week. We have Keith Oatley, who's speaking on emotional intelligence and the intelligence of emotions. This is Emotion Month, so that is the theme of today's event and the one on Friday, January 30th. I'll just leave it at that as far as upcoming events goes. There's a newsletter at the front. If you'd like to get these mailed to you every second month, please sign up. I think John has a sign-up sheet that he's passing around, so that will be at the front, or you can grab it at the end of the event. And now, Katie.
Hi. So before I introduce our speaker tonight, I just want to say a couple words on behalf of the Free Thought Association of Canada, which is a charity that Justin and myself are involved in. But just today, we were on the front page of the Globe and Mail announcing a campaign that we're launching called, I guess, the Atheist Bus Campaign. Some of you may have heard in the UK that they have signs on the side of buses that say, "There's probably no God, now stop worrying and enjoy your life." We're going to do it in Toronto, so that was on the front page, and we got a bunch of other interviews about it today on various radio shows across the country. Literally in every single province. Come Monday morning, our voice will have been heard in every province in the country. So that's exciting. We've raised a substantial amount of money already that we're going to be able to have ads up probably in the near future. So if you would like to contribute to that, you can go to atheistbus.ca. It is through the Free Thought Association of Canada, so any donation over $100 does get a charitable receipt. Yeah, so we're really excited about that. I'd just like to... Thanks.
It's not our faces on the bus.
Yeah, no, it's not me. So I'd just like to introduce our speaker tonight. Dr. Ronald De Souza is a University of Toronto professor in philosophy. He's been there since 1996. He has his BA from Oxford and a PhD from Princeton, where he wrote his final paper on categories, translations, and linguistic theory.
Excuse me, is our mic working or not working?
Our speaker will be hooked up to the mic, yes.
The speaker will, just not me, so don't worry. He was the Humanist of the Year for HAT in 2008, and has been a Fellow of the Royal Society of Canada since 2005. In academics, he's best known for philosophy of biology, philosophy of the mind, and philosophy of emotions. And so tonight, I'm very happy to have him here speaking on evolution, and he has emotion, evolution, and morality. Dr. Ronald De Souza.
Thank you very much. Let me see if I can make this work. Is this now actually functioning as a mic? And is it the right level, more or less? I tend to speak loud enough to be heard without a mic, and so it's possible that with a mic I will be painfully loud. So if I am, just give me a sign and tell me to take it down. Is there some way that I could take this thing down, actually? It would be better if I could. Because, no, I want to radically decrease the volume. Actually, let me try without. How would this be in the back? No. Would that be better?
No.
No, it's not better. Okay. So I do need some, but not too much. How's that? Okay. Is that better? And is that acceptable? Okay. Now, unfortunately, I forgot to take a crucial element of my remote, and so I'm going to have to stand here in order to be able to control the slides. I apologize for this. All right, here's what I want to do. I will start by reminding you.
I'm getting the mic.
What?
I'm not getting the microphone.
You're not getting the mic now. No. And yet it says that it's on.
Marvin, move up front.
There's a seat right here. Somebody who's having trouble hearing me. In fact, there are three seats available, and there's one there. So I will begin by talking a little bit about the so-called gap between fact and value. And then I will explain how one can actually get a sense of what it is that might be called a genuine biological value. But I will also explain why a biological value does not amount to anything that we call or that we would want to recognize as a value in the moral or any other fuller sense. I'll then describe, in a sort of spirit of anthropology, 5 domains in which it appears that people's moral judgments can be distributed. And the controversy that arises about those 5 domains is that they come essentially in what you might call 2 packages: the liberal package and the conservative package. The explanation of how value can be understood biologically has a corollary, which is that biological value is not necessarily good. And what I will conclude with are some remarks about what we can have given that we can't have a foundation of morality, and what follows from the thesis that I will be arguing, which is that morality essentially has everything to do with emotion. So let me begin by simply sketching this distinction that every first-year philosophy student learns about between facts and values. Facts are simply what is the case. Values are what ought to be the case. And several philosophers, notably Hume, are famous for having remarked that you cannot argue from an is to an ought. You cannot argue from a fact to a value or to an ought in any situation.